Hello everyone and welcome to Kaizen Learning. In today's video, we are going to read an interesting poem, The Way Through the Woods, written by Rudyard Kipling. Joseph Rudyard Kipling was born on 30th December 1865 in Bombay, India. He was an English journalist, short story writer, poet and novelist. His famous work include The Jungle Book, Captain Courageous, The Man Who Would Be King, Kim, and many more. His popular poem includes If and We Will Winky. He won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1907. Before we begin with the poem, let me give you a gist of what this poem is about. So this poem describes the changes that have come over one particular plot of the forest. It is about something that existed in the past. There used to be a road through the woods. Woods means jungle or the forest. About 70 years ago. The poet then further describes what happened to the road and how that has affected the forest. It even emphasizes the power nature has over humans. This poem is a collection of short stories called Rewards and Fairies. The theme of the poem is nature and wildlife. So, this is a two-stanza poem. The first stanza consists of 12 lines and the second stanza consists of 13 lines. This poem does not follow one particular rhyme scheme. Instead, there are many instances of scattered rhyme schemes throughout the lines in the poem. So, the speaker finally concludes the poem by describing all the things that one might see if they get a chance to see or enter the woods. Now, let us proceed towards the poem. I will first read out the poem and then we will understand it in detail. The Way Through the Woods by Rudyard Kipling. They shut the road through the woods 70 years ago. Weather and rain have undone it again, and now you would never know there was once a road through the woods before they planted the trees. It is underneath the coppice and heat and the thin anemones. Only the keeper sees that where the ring-dove broods and the badgers roll at ease. There was once a road through the woods. Yet if you enter the woods of a summer evening late, when the night air cools on the trout-ringed pools, where the otter whistles his mate, they fear not men in the woods because they see so few. You will hear the beat of a horse's feet and the swish of a skirt in the dew, steadily cantering through the misty solitudes as though they perfectly knew the old lost road through the woods. But there is no road through the woods. So here the poet has described different things which are found in the woods. So first let me show you that. So the first picture that you see, that is how a badger looks like. So that animal is the badger. Then the second one that you see, it's the otter. Okay. And next to otter you have the trout. So trout is like a fish. Okay, and in the second row if you see those creatures like flowers, those are the sea anemones. And the next to the sea anemones you have the ring dove bird. So it looks like more or less like a dove only, but if you see near the neck there is one mark next to the around the neck. Then below that if you see below the sea anemones you have two pictures. One is the coppice and the second one is the heat. So the part of the wood which is remaining close to the ground, which the upper part which has already been cut, that is the coppice, and next to coppice you have the heat. So this is how heat looks like. Now let us understand the first stanza in detail. So the poem begins with the speaker stating that one particular road was shut okay, 70 years ago. So the first line is spoken as if the reader already has the knowledge about the road that the speaker is sharing. So 70 years have passed since anyone was able to cross this road. In the next two lines, the poet is saying that since the time the road was closed, the weather and rain have undone it again because it was not well maintained. So the road was broken down by nature and now it has disappeared completely. If one was to come up with this place now, they would not come to know that there was once a road passing through the woods or the forest. Nature has taken back the area that humans had claimed. In the next two lines where it is mentioned, it is underneath the coppice and heath and thin anemones. So here the meaning is that trees have been planted and grown around the path which are unknown. Now if anyone was searching for it, they would have to go underneath the coppice and heath. So here the speaker is referring an area that is annually cut. So the trees or the trees in the jungle are cut down to stimulate the growth of them. So this is an uncultivated land, and it also refers to a common type of shrub that grows wild. So this is the heath that we are talking about. And one would also be forced to go around the anemones, which means, now the word anemones means it's like a small sea creatures that lives on rocks, but it looks like more like a flower. In the next four lines, where the speaker talks about only the keeper sees that where the ringdove broods and the badgers roll at ease, there was once a road through the woods. So here in the last section, the speaker refers to the keeper. Now keeper is the person who is in charge of the forest area or who monitors the area. But here we don't know exactly who the keeper is or what job is he doing. Now since the forest now has access only to the animals and no humans, so we know that only the keeper is the human who comes in the forest. So only he is allowed and he is able to see beyond the surface level what lies in the forest. So this person has seen the ringdove preparing to sit on its to sit and warm his eggs. So that is the meaning of the word brood. Brood means to sit on the eggs and warm them so that they can be ready to hatch. And the badgers roll at ease means the creature badger can easily move around. Now these badgers are short-legged creature, so they are grey in color and with white stripes extending from the nose to the back. So basically the animals are very comfortable with this person. With this person means we are referring to the keeper. They feel as if this keeper has is able, so because of the keeper they are able to continue on with their lives, as if it looks like as if he has just come to meet those animals, or the animals are just meeting the keeper, and they know that the keeper is not going to try to destroy their home. So here, as you see, the speaker of the poem is jealous with the forest in charge or the keeper, because he is the only one, he is the only human who has access to this new secret world that no one else has seen. Now let us proceed to the second stanza. So here in the second stanza, in the first four lines, the speaker discusses what happens if one enters the jungle on a late summer evening. So here he is saying, so if you get a chance to see what's inside the forest, then one could slip into this area that is seemingly off limits while no one is watching. So you will experience that the air is the air would be cooling, and you will see that the animals are relaxing. So one can even hear the otter whistling to his partner. Now if you see the word trout, okay, trout is nothing but a fish, and if you see ring pool means it's the cluster or the group of fish swimming. So as we know that this area is covered with jungle and there is no passing of humans, because of the rain, water has got collected, and you can see the trouts swimming or swimming in that particular area where the water has got collected. So the animals have no reason to be scared of from the humans, as now the road is closed. So only few of them will be passing by, and amongst those few also it will only be the keeper who would be passing. So if the road still existed, then this wouldn't be the case. Now, in the second section where they are talking about, you will hear the beat of a horse's feet and the swish of a skirt in a dew, steadily cantering through the misty solitude. So, the word swish of a skirt in the dew, it means to move very quickly through the air, and misty solitude means to enjoy living alone. And yeah, the word cantering means to ride a horse at a normal speed, which is not very fast and not very slow. So if one entered into the woods at this time, which means late summer evening, there might be a detectable sound of the horse's feet beating on the ground. Maybe you might hear them galloping. So they move around without hesitation, and they don't even need a path for that. Okay, because maybe they know the way. So you can see them moving around. In the last three lines, the poet or the speaker increases the magical and mysterious elements by describing how the horses perfectly knew the way in the jungles even without the path. So he concludes that the road was vanished completely, and today there is no proof that it once ever existed. So here the poet is feeling little confused that if the road existed, um, and the horses are able to move or horses are able to gallop, then it is understood that the roads exist, so they know the way. But now it has been 70 years that the road has been shut down, so there is no single trace of the road or the path. So here the speaker is little surprised or maybe astonished as to how do these horses know the way even when there is no path. So this brings us to the end of today's video. But before that, think, would you ever want to visit a road that gets lost through the woods? Surely wonder over this question. I hope this detailed explanation has helped you to learn and understand the poem better. I will see you in the next video. Till then, stay safe and stay curious.